The following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports, a Time Warner company.
The strength and power of the Miami Heat and Utah Jazz. The execution and precision of two of the NBA's elite, two teams with emotionally charged leaders. For Miami, Alonzo Mourning is their heart and soul, their stabilizing force, and their emotional barometer. In Utah, Karl Malone's unwavering vision and determination is their guide in times of victory and their motivation in times of downfall. The Jazz and Heat in their only regular season meeting. It's the NBA on TNT tonight. As we get underway here at the Delta Center, where Utah has won 11 of 12. Miami Heat have won 17 out of 20 games since losing 3 of their first 4 this year, and Karl Malone has been struggling from the field. Here is Brown again, driving and slashing, and the fine defensive play inside. Hornacek got a hand on it. 3-on-3 right now. Here's Bryon Russell, and a basket counts and a foul. A blocking foul is called against Dan Marley. He just jumped back 3 feet. Here is Malone, and Malone gets a second try. A good pass by Stockton, but 9 out of 10 times. We would like to welcome those watching in Canada tonight on TSN as Tim Hardaway hits a 3.
As long as Brown stays behind him, doesn't foul him, forces him to shoot over the top.
And a scramble for the loose ball and the double team on Mourning, and we'll have a jump ball. Great hustle by Alonzo Mourning. And Marley to even get the shot on. Hornacek hits the jumper. So Isley looking inside. Finds Hornacek, and Hornacek hits it. That's a 2-point basket. And the Jazz open up a 4-point lead, the biggest lead by either team. Process. Mourning feeding inside, and the stuff by Weatherspoon. Spoon setting a screen. And here's Marley for 3, and he's got it. Dan Marley. And so the Miami Heat doing what they do best, hitting the threes. Isley came in there and did a pretty good job for him. Hardaway hitting the shot. Hardaway now with 7 points. Points will be a struggle tonight. Here is Weatherspoon going up high to get it in, and Weatherspoon, who is playing on a winning team for the first time in his career, lost some weight and getting into the swing of things, has been a great contributor to Pat Riley's bench. Malone's going to be a little frustrated because getting mauled down low and not getting chances to score. John Stockton hitting a 3. Hits it from midcourt at halftime anyway.
Yeah, well, he does.
Hardaway, he hits the 3.
Look out.
So a dueling threes right now with the point guards. First John is this time, and the Jazz coming back. Hornacek for 3, and he front rims it. Malone gets the offensive rebound, and he converts. So Karl Malone with his first basket in over 20 minutes ties the game at 39. Rebound to Malone.
The guy who knocked that out, Stockton.
Stockton again.
Yes!
He knocked it out. Stockton hits a 3, his second of the first half. And the Jazz, who are down by 8 points, lead by 3, 42 to 39. An 11-0 run at the final stages of this first half by the Utah Jazz. 11-1 at home. Hardaway, that'll be a 2-point field goal. And the Heat down by 1 as this week. Here is Mourning working his way in and gets the basket. Alonzo Mourning up. Hardaway gets it back, fires quickly on the release and hits. That's a 3 for Hardaway. So that is his 3rd of the game. That gives him 71 on the year, and he's got 17 to lead everybody. See that? Bryon Russell looking down low for Malone, and Malone is mugged, but all ball apparently, according to the officials. Crowd, one of the rare boos you hear here at the Delta Center.
Well, you know, this quarter, anytime that he goes in there, he's getting racked up pretty good, exactly like the beginning of quarter 1.
Hardaway with another basket. That was a 2, and he's got 19 points and a timeout called by Jerry Sloan. Miami with an impressive performance in their first road game on this trip. And there is Bryon Russell coming back with another 3, his second of the game. So Stockton and Russell each with 2 from downtown. He's a good slash. Hardaway comes back, and this is the 3, but here is Weatherspoon.
Oh, yes!
As he goes right at Fuller and slams it through. Clarence Weatherspoon. You watch the game clock here as Weatherspoon goes in and uses his body well. 63 to 55. The lead is 8. Isley gets it into Bailey. And Bailey converts over Caldwell. Nice play. Good passing by the Heat. Here's Marley open for three. He's got it. Dan Marley. Thunder Dan, they call him now, with his second three-point basket to account for all 6 of his points.
That's an advantage, and they found Marley.
Here's Bryon Russell, and he hits a three. Bryon Russell now with 3 from three-point range. He's got leaving Weatherspoon open in the corner. And the rebound, Carswell.
Doing a nice job tonight.
And Hardaway again. And Timmy Hardaway now with 4 three-point baskets in the...
Of the 3 guys refereeing a game, and these guys have been consistent all night.
Here's Malone working his way in and rejected by Mourning. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Hey, he's always showing you why he is the leading shot blocker in a game.
Here's Mourning guarded by
nice.
Good move by Mourning. Good
Look out.
Move by Alonzo Mourning. 11 points and maybe one of the niftiest moves we've seen tonight.
Oh, Dick, that was sheer power.
Best record in the NBA deserves more than just slight consideration. Karl Malone, and he has not tasted a basket in, well, it must be close to 38 minutes. 15 points in the game.
Yeah, good anticipation by Stockton. See, they have to get Hardaway back into the game. They were up big because of his production.
And Hardaway checking back in, and Stockton strips him of the ball. John Stockton with a play that gets the Jazz fans out of their seat.
A catch, he's got to get the two-handed dunk.
Here's Malone, and Karl Malone starting to get his game in order. And it is 73 to 72. The Heat lead down to 1, and here come the Jazz. Malone has scored the last 7 Utah points. Here is Porter and his gutty layup using his body right-handed this time.
Well, that brought him off of a beautiful screen.
John Stockton in the lane, flips it out to Malone. P.J. Brown all over him, and Malone hits again, and Karl Malone in rhythm offensively here in the 4th quarter. He has 20.
Play with John Stockton and not know the ball is coming to you when you're open.
Ostertag wasn't alert, but Malone is as he goes up, gets the rebound, second effort, blocked, no foul, and it's last touched by the Heat, and Karl Malone really upset now in not getting a foul call.
Well, I'm glad he's not getting a technical, but he has a legitimate beat. He has been hammered a number of times in the 1st quarter, in the 3rd quarter, and again on that play right there, and he's not getting the call.
And plenty of time on the shot clock. The Jazz have it with under 2 minutes to go. Pretty to Ostertag, and finally Greg Ostertag sees the pass and puts it through, and we have a tie at 78. Jazz were down by 10. This is a championship caliber contest. Hardaway in and out, and Ostertag gets the rebound. Consider the Jazz have played 2 overtime games in a row and have lost them, but Malone draws the foul and will go to the strike. And the Jazz lead it 79 to 78. That's their first lead since the end of the 1st half.
Now Miami with 3 timeouts, Utah with 3 timeouts and a 20.
Here's Hardaway for 3, and he's got it.
Oh, baby.
Jerry Sloan is yelling. He thought it was a push-off that time, but in any event, the Miami Heat lead by 2 with under a minute remaining now. 20 on the shot clock.
Listen, Riley and Sloan both up, working hard right now.
These are great tacticians in a throwback basketball game, believe me. And Stockton fires it up, taps it out to Malone. Malone fires it up in a foul as Malone is hit by P.J. Brown, and if it is on Brown, that is his 6th personal foul. But Malone has come through, and the Jazz have needed him the most down the stretch. And a tie at 81. Now, timeout called by the Miami Heat. They have 2 full timeouts remaining, and this is going down the wire to no one's surprise. Playing for the final shot here, 81-81. Stockton controlling on the corner. John Stockton penetrating, and here is Bryon Russell, and Russell gets a 3-point basket. Bryon Russell, and that is his 4th tonight. And a timeout by Miami, and the Miami is going to need a 3-point basket. Bryon Russell with 4 from three-point range.
See, this is just great basketball. They're going to a young man who hardly had anything at all on the board at halftime. Now just keep an eye on this. That was a beautiful release. On the other side of the floor, John Stockton dribbled right into the middle. It looked like two-man action. Instead, they drew the defense into the middle and made the diagonal pass. Keep an eye on Stockton and Malone on the left side of the floor. Now, as John looks like screen and roll, now keep an eye to the right. Look at that. Russell's man got caught. Marley got caught trying to help down inside. That's just great basketball. Misdirection.
Bryon Russell in the second half, 14 points, including 4 three-pointers. So Russell and Karl Malone down the stretch. Keep in mind that the Jazz have a foul to give, and it would behoove them to use it with 4.7.
Yeah,
they are going to guard the inbound man. Weatherspoon will inbound. Time is running out. This is the last gap chance. Hardaway misses a three, and the game is over. And the Utah Jazz outscoring the Miami Heat 10-3 in the last 4 minutes of the game, have come from behind to win a game that lived up to its billing. The final score here at the Delta Center, the Jazz 84 and the Heat 81.
That's why we brought up the pointy in the fourth quarter. They have only lost 9 times here in the last 2.5 regular season games. That is staggering. Talk about that winning play.
I was open. Stock hit me, and no doubt in my mind I was going to shoot the ball, and I shot, followed through, and it went in.
Carl, they were talking about no field goal. 1 field goal for you in 38 minutes. Hubie said you don't keep him down for 4 quarters. Were you getting frustrated because you weren't getting good looks there for a while?
Well, I was getting great looks, but the thing about it is, in life, you don't go out and ask for anything. You go out and take what you want in life and be a man about it. And like I said in the beginning, you start feeling sorry for yourself, but in this business, no one gonna give you anything. So it just kept playing. My teammates kept looking for me, and you get it going and get some energy. But it was a team win. It was a big win for us. We lost 2 games in a row, tough games, but for the most part, everybody stuck in there, hung in there, and we earned this victory. They didn't give us jack shit.
As Karl Malone said, but in other words, they didn't give you anything. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
All right, Craig and Karl Malone definitely demonstrating that we are live television. We don't use videotape here or any 7-second delay. The final score in a terrific game. The Jazz beat the Heat 84-81. Malone had 23. Russell with the winner had 17. Tim Hardaway led the Heat with 30. So for Hubie Brown, Craig Sager, Dick Stockton saying so long. And right now we're going to send it to our Atlanta studios. We'll catch our breath. We know you will as well. Here's Ernie Johnson. Take it away.